Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a journey into a topic that touches millions globally, Parkinson's disease.
Indeed. It's the second most common neurodegenerative disease out there.
And it's known not just for its motor challenges, right?
Mm.
But also a surprising array of non-motor symptoms that, really impact daily life.
Absolutely. And what's truly striking in recent research is this intricate sort of two-way highway between our gut and our brain.
A gut-brain axis.
Exactly. This system is vital for keeping our body's balance, and, well, its disruption is increasingly linked to neurological conditions like Parkinson's.
So our mission today isn't just to talk about Parkinson's in the usual way, but to look at a surprising new frontier, one that starts, maybe unexpectedly, in the gut.
It really is a fundamental shift in understanding. For a long time, the focus for Parkinson's was almost entirely on the brain.
Right.
But now we see this imbalance in our gut microbiota. Gut dysbiosis is the term.
Right.
It's heavily implicated in not just how Parkinson's occurs, but also how it develops and progresses.
So how does that work? How does the gut imbalance influence the disease?
Well, several key ways. It can lead to increased intestinal permeability. You often hear it called leaky gut.
Where the gut lining gets more porous.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that allows unwanted stuff to cross into the bloodstream. It also fuels neuroinflammation.
Inflammation in the nervous system.
Yeah, and promotes the abnormal clumping of alpha-synuclein fibrils. That's a key protein in Parkinson's pathology.
Okay.
Plus, it escalates oxidative stress throughout the body. And remarkably, it can even reduce the production of essential neurotransmitters, like dopamine.
Wow. So it really underscores the need for treatments that go beyond just, managing symptoms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because current therapies don't halt the disease's progression or restore those damaged neurons. We need something disease-modifying.
Okay, so given that urgent need, what innovative non-drug interventions are researchers looking at? Something that might actually target these underlying mechanisms.
That brings us to photobiomodulation, or PBM therapy.
TBM light therapy.
Exactly. It's the use of narrow wavelength, non-thermal light, think LEDs or lasers, to modulate cellular responses.
Sounds a bit sci-fi. How does light do that?
It's quite elegant, actually. PBM targets tiny light-absorbing molecules, specifically cytochrome C oxidase, inside our mitochondria.
The cell's powerhouses.
Right. When light hits these molecules, it basically gives the cells an energy boost. It ramps up ATP production.
Okay.
And that kicks off a cascade of beneficial cellular signaling downstream.
And a big plus here is that it's non-invasive and safe.
Very much so. It lacks those harsh side effects you often see with traditional Parkinson's medications.
So there's a specific study you mentioned.
Yes, a 12-week study involving Parkinson's patients. They applied PBM to the abdomen, neck, head, and even intranasally.
Applying light in all those places. Intriguing. What did they find, especially about the gut microbiome?
The results were quite significant, actually. The main takeaway was that PBM treatment seems potentially capable of altering the microbiome composition in people with Parkinson's.
Altering the gut bacteria with light.
It sounds surprising, but yes. And not just minor shifts. They saw positive changes in the Firmicutes to bacteroids ratio, the FB ratio.
That's often used as a marker for gut health, right?
It is. And for 9 out of the 12 participants, this ratio dramatically decreased. It went from an average of 4.60 before treatment down to 1.58 after.
Wow, from 4.6 down to 1.58. That sounds like a huge shift. Can you put that into perspective?
Think of it like this. It suggests moving from a highly imbalanced, potentially inflammatory gut environment towards one much closer what we consider healthy and stable, a significant rebalancing.
Okay, so what specific bacteria changed?
Well, they saw increases in beneficial bacteria, the ones that produce short-chain fatty acids, which are really good for gut health and reducing inflammation.
Like which ones?
General like bacteroids, Allocypes, Barnesiella, Dorobacter. These guys are known for their anti-inflammatory properties and helping gut health.
Okay, the good bugs went up. What about the less desirable ones?
They saw decreases in potentially pathogenic bacteria. Things like Clostridium, Cluster XIE, Streptococcus, and Neurococcus, and even the Archaeon methanobrevibacter.
And those are linked to poor gut health in Parkinson's.
They have been associated with it, yes. So if you connect these PBM-induced microbiome shifts back to Parkinson's,
It might counteract things like the leaky gut, the inflammation, the alpha-synuclein clumping.
that's the hypothesis. It's like the light therapy might be helping to sort of reboot the gut's ecosystem for these patients.
That's quite something. It really positions PBM as a potential, novel non-pharmacotherapeutic intervention alongside things like diet, probiotics, maybe even fecal
That
transplants.
could be a fifth pillar, potentially.
But hang on, it was only 12 participants, right? Are there important caveats here? Next steps before we get too carried away.
Oh, absolutely. It's a critical point. These results are incredibly promising, but the small sample size means they're preliminary. Definitely preliminary.
So larger trials needed, placebo controls.
Exactly. We need larger placebo-controlled trials to confirm these effects and figure out the best way to apply the therapy, dosage, duration, frequency, all that.
Right.
And it also brings up this really fascinating question.
Which is?
Does PBM directly change the gut microbiome itself, or is the microbiome change a secondary effect? Maybe PBM improves Parkinson's symptoms first, and that sends a beneficial signal from the brain to the gut, which then changes the bacteria.
Ah, the gut-brain axis working in the other direction.
Precisely. It highlights just how complex this whole gut-brain connection is and how much we still have to learn.
So it opens up new avenues for understanding and treatment, but leaves us with that big question.
It really does. It underlines this profound and still unfolding connection between what's happening in our gut and our neurological well-being. Something for all of us to think about.